workout is going to be a fantastic targeted core workout. We're going to be doing exercises but high number of reps. So we're really going to focus on targeting our primary core muscles through the transverse abdominals, through our obliques, and through our main abdominal wall. Okay, so here's how the circuits are going to work. We're going to do 2 exercises in every circuit. We're going to repeat those exercises 3 times at an interval of 30 seconds with a little rest in between. And then once we've done those 3 sets of 30 seconds, we're then going to repeat the same 2 exercises for an interval of 20 seconds twice. So really targeting that core and every muscle around. So let's get started with circuit number 1. We're going to start with leg drops. So you can incorporate weights in this movement if you'd like to add a little bit more intensity into the movement, as well as put in some of that upper body stress. So we're going to come down to the floor. Your feet are going to come flat to the floor to start because we want to set ourselves up really nicely. So you're going to take those hips and you're going to push them right into the pelvis. So you're going to have that lower back completely flat to the mat. So you're not going to be able to put your hands underneath your back. It's all nice and tucked. That belly button's going to be tucked right to your spine, and you're going to lift those legs up. Our lower leg drops, we can tuck our hands in for a little more support through that lower back, and we're going to just slightly start to go down, squeezing in through those glutes and coming back up. You can keep those legs bended. If you want to add some more intensity, you can take them to a straight leg drop. If you're really a beginner here, I would suggest doing a single leg drop here. And of course, if you want to add those weights in, you can have them in your hand, and we can do a double leg, double arm drop right here. So this is going to be 30 seconds. We're getting started now in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So really make sure we're squeezing in through those glutes, and we're exhaling our breath as those legs go down. Big inhales, they come back up. Remember, you do not have to be including your upper arms. You can tuck them at your bum. And when you tuck them at your bum, make sure that you're not sitting on them, but they're just at the base of the nice cushy part of your bum. So you're just using that for extra support through that lower back. And if you find that your back is going up, even if you're tucking your hands, just go down a little bit. Don't come down all the way to the floor. We're almost done our 30 seconds in 3, 2, 1, and rest it right here. So we're going to take about a 10-second break in between our exercises. This might be a tad longer because I'm going to explain the full roll-up. So your feet are going to come with your heels to the floor. You can add a weight into this with your weight at your chest. And we're going to squeeze into our glutes, push into our belly button. Our chin's off our chest, like you can fit an apple between our chin and chest. And we're just going to push our hands forward and just reach as much as we can. And then we're going to roll down, pushing that belly button right to the spine. Lower back hits the mat. Big breath in as you come out. Inhale as you come back in. Here we go for 30 seconds. In 3, 2, 1. Push out. Inhale, roll down so that spine curves in. Belly button hits that spine, and that lower back is going to hit the mat first. If you find you want to add a little bit more intensity, take those legs right down to the floor so they're nice and long. No bending in through those knees. So you're using a little bit more core engagement to come up and down. Remember that lower back hits the mat first, and you do not have to incorporate a weight here. You can be just using your arms to pull yourself up and down. Almost there. In 3, 2, and there's our 30 here. So that's round 1 of our 30-second interval. We're going to go right back to our leg drops here, making sure we're pushing in through that hip so those lower backs go right to the mat. Here we go in 3, 2, 30 seconds. Squeeze into those glutes, whether we're doing single leg drops, whether we're just coming down a tad, whether we're using those upper body movements with our weight. And if you want to add the upper body movement but no weight, you can do that as well. We're squeezing the bum as we exhale, coming back to center. And again, if you feel like that back is just a little too tender, you're just going a little bit down. You don't have to come all the way to the floor. You can even do that through single legs. It's really up to you. 3, 2, and rest it right here. Whatever modification you choose is really based on your personal strength right now, your personal fitness level, and modifying just means that you're doing something that will work for you for best results. Here we go for those full roll-ups in 3, 2, 1. Push up and come back down. And remember, The straight leg version is the most difficult version. If you want to add a little bit more modification, you come in through those feet and you can push into those heels as you come up. So you're putting more weight into the legs to help you come rolling up and down. Good. Another little tip, again, if you're not as strong to do the full roll up, in 3, 2, 1, is you can tuck your feet underneath your couch of the chair, just so you have that extra little oomph to help you up. Not a cheat, it just helps you do the exercise. Here we go, we're down for that third round of 30 seconds. Leg drops in 3, 2, 1, squeeze in. Exhale down, inhale up. That lower back is always on the floor. As you start to get a little fatigued through this, you may modify as you go along. Maybe your first 2 sets were really good, and now you're starting to feel it a bit. So just change how far you go down. Squeeze into the bum. In 3, 2, and rest it right here. Good job. Move into that full roll up in 3, 2, 1. Squeeze into those glutes, push into that belly button and roll yourself down. Really reach nice and long so you're almost hinging in those hips as you come to full sit up. Good. Always keep that bum nice and tight. Coming up and down. Almost there. In 3, 2, and rest it right here. Good. Okay, we're not done with these ones yet. We're going to move that interval to 20 seconds now so that we still are targeting those muscles, but just a little less time as we get fatigued. So you can also take this opportunity to maybe add in a weight because it's less time. So maybe we push ourselves a little bit more. The lower the interval, sometimes the harder you can make it. In 3, 2, 1, leg drops right here. Giving it short bursts of time. You can try and expend as much energy in that time as possible. So if you're feeling confident with this move, you can speed it up. You can add in that double arms, double legs. You can add in that weight. If not, that's okay. 3, 2, and rest it right here. Good, we're gonna move to 20 seconds. Full roll up right here. In 3, 2, go for it. Up, roll down so that lower back hits the mat first. Good, big inhale as you roll down. Exhale as you push up and reach forward. Using that belly button. Push into the spine with that belly button. All about the belly button. In 3, 2, and rest it right here. All right, one more with these 2 movements. This is the final 2. Here we go, making sure that lower back is glued to that mat in 3, 2, 1, and we're gonna drop it low. Exhale. As you lower those legs, no matter how far you go down, keep the breathing nice and consistent. Squeeze in, feel that whole core engage. In 3, 2, and rest it right here. One more time with this exercise, full roll up. In 3, 2, 1. Good. Don't forget that little tip of tucking your feet into something to help you pull yourself up just a little bit more as you gain that strength. Almost there. 3, 2, and rest it right here. Whew. I feel that one and my heart rates a little bit. All right, so we're gonna move on to circuit number 2, 2 more core exercises. Okay, so we're on to circuit number 2, 2 more core exercises, and we're still on the floor for this. We're gonna start off with a cross crunch. I'm gonna show you the version with weights. The version without weights, basically don't use your weights. So it's called a cross crunch reach. And we're gonna come down to the floor. Again, making sure our shoulders are flat to the floor to open up those airways. We're gonna have our weights if we choose in our hands. The movement does not change if you're not using weights. And we're gonna take our hands so that our shoulders and our elbows are nice and aligned. We're gonna push our hips into our pelvis so our lower back is glued to the ground. And we're gonna reach up to the left using our left arm. But with our right arm, we're gonna push it right into the floor so it's gonna hold ourselves up. And as always, we're gonna keep our chin well off our chest so we're leading with the core and not our head. So you're gonna push it through that right arm, come up, lift yourself up so you can see I'm balancing on my elbow here. Push across your body towards the right side with that left arm. Roll back so that lower back hits the mat first, and then switch to the other side, reaching up with your right, using your left to pull yourself up, and then come on down. One elbow should always be on the ground at a time. Here we go for the first 30 seconds. In 3, 2, 1, and we're gonna squeeze in, push that belly button right to the spine, and then roll down, lower back hits that mat. Push up, and roll down. Big breath in here, exhale as you push up. So if you're not using weights, you're just reaching instead of chest pressing with those weights. So the movement doesn't change with or without weights. Coming down, we're really squeezing into the bum as we push ourselves up. And we're looking up towards the ceiling. 3, 2, and rest it right here. Up towards the ceiling as we push up. All right, so we're gonna turn around. This you don't need weights at all. We're gonna turn around into a plank position. A couple different ways you can do this one as well. We're gonna do it from a low plank position. And what I mean by low plank is we're gonna be on our forearms. So our elbows and our shoulders are nice and aligned. And then we're gonna squeeze in through the glutes. You can have your knees on the ground or you can be in a full plank. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna push our belly button into our spine, push up our bum, rotate that bum right down, pushing our hips towards the floor, and then rolling around to the next side. Coming down. So again, you can do that from your knees or on your toes. Or you can even go to the wall and do it that way. All right, tuck in the shirt. Here we go for 30 seconds, hip rolls. Keep that bum nice and tight in 3, 2, 1. Really kind of think about that belly button, pushing into the spine and drawing that half circle. So we're not just going straight over from our hips, we're gonna push the bum up and really rotate those hips from side to side, either through your knees or through your toes. Bum is really tight. Keep that lower back nice and secure. We got 5 seconds right here. 3, 2, and rest it. Good. So let's turn around onto our back, and we're gonna do our cross crunch reach. Giving ourselves just about 10 seconds transition. We wanna move through this quickly to get through to that toning in 3, 2, 1, and push up. Squeeze into those glutes, push into that belly button. Really feel the whole torso kind of kick in as you pull that belly button right back to your spine. You can almost imagine that somebody has a string from your belly button and from the back is pulling it, trying to pull it out through your spine. So that's where we want to try and keep it the whole time and just actively push it back there. Exhale up, inhale down. That lower back hits the mat first, remember. Almost there in 3, 2, and we're resting right here. Good, let's turn around and do our hip rolls. Okay, 10-second transition here. Squeezing in through the glutes. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. And I'm gonna start this one on my knees just to show anybody who's using the knee version, just kind of the movement of where my bum is coming up. So I'm still not going straight through the hips and just moving my hips side to side. I'm still trying to push in through the core and then drop those hips from side to side. I'm keeping my chest, whether I'm in my knees or in a plank, square to the mat, so I'm just kind of disassociating those hips from my upper body. And I'm still pushing up and around. I'm still drawing that half circle even through my knees. 3, 2, and rest it. Good. One more time at this 30. Down onto the floor, and we're doing our cross crunch reach. Here we go in 3, 2, and we're pushing up, making sure that elbow is supporting us, pushing right into the floor, and that belly button glued to the spine. So we're feeling that stretch and that pull right through our obliques and abdominals. Don't forget to breathe. Try not to hold your breath and keep those elbows at your shoulder level. And reach up. Bums nice and tight. 3, 2, and rest it right here. Awesome. Half the workout is moving back and forth from cross crunch reach to hip rolls. My goodness. All right, turning it around. And we're going to do our hip rolls last time at 30 seconds. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. My bum's nice and tight. I'm pushing my belly button right into the spine. My elbows are aligned with my shoulders to support that upper body. And I'm breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Doing awesome. 10 seconds. This is our last 30-second interval here. 3, 2, and rest it. Good. Well, we're not done quite yet. We're still going to do our 20-second intervals times 2. So back on our back, switching to 20 seconds. So again, this is where maybe you try and push it a little bit more, a little less time. So you can maybe increase the weight, speed up the movement if you're confident in your form, or just keep going as you are. Here we go. 3, 2, go for it right here. Really think about contracting in through that belly button. Squeezing in through those glutes. Almost there. 3, 2, and rest it right here. Good. Turn it around. Hip rolls. All right. Through your knees or through your toes. 20 seconds right here in 3, 2, 1. Really tighten in through that bum. Belly button's pushed right to that spine. And we're drawing that semicircle. In 5, 3, 2, and resting. Good. One more set here with these 2 exercises before we move on to circuit number 3. 3 of 5 circuits. Here we go. 20 seconds. Cross crunch reach in 3, 2, 1. Pushing up. Good. Remember, keep those elbows high. Gives you a nice big punch up. Belly button and bum. Nice and tight. Shouldn't be moving our feet or putting too much pressure in through those feet. In 3, 2, and we're gonna rest it right here. Good. Final time is those hip rolls. Coming around. Knees or toes. In 3, 2, 1, go for it. Moving you along quickly here. To really make sure we don't have time to recover to target these muscles. 5 seconds. In 3, 2, 1. Whew. And there we go. There's circuit number 2 in the book. Good job, guys. Let's move on. All right, circuit number 3. And yep, we're on the floor again. That's part of core workouts. You get to be on the floor for most of it. So we're gonna start with a bridge march. Now these can be kind of tricky, so let's just try and walk through this one real quick. We're really targeting our lower transverse abdominals in this one. So when we're lying on the floor, again, our shoulders are flat to the floor, we're opening up those airways, and we're gonna lift our hips up. So our feet are gonna be just about maybe 2 feet away from your bum, and we're gonna just lift up those hips, our weights into the heels, and we're squeezing in through those glutes. So it's a bridge position. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that knee in and tuck it to our chest. So your foot can come parallel to the ceiling. That knee is close to the chest, and you notice that my hips drop just a bit. They're not dropping right to the floor. We're still suspending them over the mat, and then we're just gonna replace the heel back to the floor and push those hips back up again, and then we'll repeat on the other side. So we're really lengthening that torso, and then we're shortening it. So bridge marches right here, and we're gonna start with that 30-second round. Here we go. Push up into those heels, bums nice and tight, in 3, 2, 1, bridge marches. So you really wanna feel that belly button sink right into that spine, squeeze into those glutes as you replace the foot back to the floor. And you notice I'm not lengthening my foot. I'm keeping my whole leg in that 90 degree the whole time. So I'm not kicking my feet out or kicking it in. I'm just stepping in, really thinking about closing those hips or those ribs right into my belly button and shortening that torso. Exhaling as the knee comes in, inhaling as I put down. 3, 2, and rest it. Good job. All right, we're gonna move on to a hip dip. We're only gonna do one side, so whether you do your left side this time or your right side, it doesn't matter. The next circuit will include the opposite side. So we're gonna come down into a low side plank. And again, what I mean by low is through the forearm. So you're gonna have your knee or your shoulder and your elbow nice and aligned so it supports that upper body. We're gonna align those hips and our knee. One knee is gonna be tucked underneath your leg. You're gonna come up onto that leg, onto that knee. That opposite leg's gonna be right over your leg coming underneath you. And you can have your hand on the floor, on your hip, or reaching up. And we're just gonna dip those hips up and down. And as if you notice, I'm not coming to neutral, I'm pushing my hips past. So I'm using those obliques a little bit more. And I'm just coming down and up. Now, if you want to increase the intensity, you can go for a full side plank. It's really up to you. This is 30 seconds side plank in 3, 2, 1. Go for it. You're going to squeeze in through that bum, really tightening in through the core and belly button because you want to alleviate any pressure through your shoulder. You're going to definitely feel this through your upper body, but you don't want it to be the primary spot. You don't want your shoulder to be burning before you can even finish the exercise. So what we do by that is we squeeze in through our bum and squeeze into the core. 5 more seconds here. In 3, 2, and rest it. Good. Let's move back to our backs. Bridge marches. Pushing up into those heels. Squeeze into the bum. In 3, 2, 1. Tuck into the chest. Keeping that leg in a 90 degree. Just picking up and putting down. Really feeling that torso and belly button sink right in. Ribs come down into your spine. And we're breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, and out as you tuck that knee in. In 3, 2, and rest it right here. Awesome. Okay, coming back onto the same side. Don't switch sides. Go to the same side you started with. Side hip dips in 3, 2, 1. Squeeze in through those glutes. You can do it from your knee, which is the option I'm choosing for this second round. Hand placement can be wherever. But remember, we're dipping low, just grazing that mat, and then we're pushing up as high as we can. Now you can do this from the wall as well, just making sure you're about half body length away from the wall with your feet, on the balls of your feet, and then just dip your hips towards the wall. Legs are nice and straight. Lock those knees. In 3, 2, and rest it right here. Good. Let's move back to our bridge marches. Lifting up those hips, pushing into those heels. In 3, 2, 1. This is our third set at our 30-second interval. Keeping that bum nice and tight as well. Really feeling the pull in through the abdominals, in through that belly button, in through those lower abdominals. Good. This is technically an intermediate version or intermediate core exercise, so it's not too easy, but it's not too difficult either, but it's more about the coordination. In 3, 2, and rest it right here. Awesome. Let's move back for that one more time at the 30 seconds. Hip dips in 3, 2, 1. Pushing in, making sure that bum's nice and tight. Pushing those hips down and up. Really think about moving past neutral here. Elbow and shoulder nice and aligned. You need to fix. Less than 10 seconds. We really want to concentrate on that upper body being well supported. If the arm's too far in front of you, you're going to feel that through that upper body and lose some of that core work. In 3, 2, and rest it right here. Still not done. We're moving to that 20 seconds. Bridge marches on our back. In 3, setting that 20 seconds up. 2, squeeze up in 3, 2, 1. Push those knees in. Good. Really feel that belly button sink in. Really feel the bum kind of sink down. Don't worry too much about your hips up and down. That'll naturally happen as you tuck your knees in. So it's not a push up through them. In 3, 2, and rest it right here. Good. Same side as before. We're not switching sides through these 20-second intervals. Here we go for those side hip dips. In 3, 2, go for it. 20 seconds. You might want to increase the intensity a bit. Go to a full side plank. Maybe speed up the movement. Up to you. Maybe take that arm up. Really figure out what you want to push here without sacrificing form. 3, 2, and rest it. Good. One more time here. Last set of bridge marches at 20 seconds. In 3, squeezing in through those bums. 2, here we go. Tuck that knee in. Exhale that breath. Almost there. 5 more seconds right here. In 3, 2, and rest it. Last time on the side you've chosen for your hip dips. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, 20 seconds. Squeezing through those glutes. Push those hips up and down. Really keep the bum nice and tight. Keeps that core nice and engaged. Takes pressure off that upper body. 3, 2, and rest it. Woo! That was a good one. All right, so that was circuit number 3. We're now moving on to our second last circuit. Here we go. Circuit number 4 coming up. Okay, circuit number 4, we're gonna move to the other side of those hip dips. So if you were on your right side with your right arm down before, now you're gonna move to the left side. So we're gonna come over onto our side. Remember, you can be through your knee, or you can be on the toes, or you can be on the wall. Making sure that the shoulder and elbow, whether on the floor or on the wall, is directly across from us and nicely supported. Squeezing through those glutes, push up to the hips. Here we go, 30 seconds. Go for it. 3, 2, squeeze into those glutes and really concentrate on pushing down to the floor and then pushing past your neutral part of your body. So you're pushing past those hips, up and down. If you feel like your arm is getting too far in front of you, just reposition it and then concentrate on squeezing in through more of the center of your body so that this doesn't pull through and move your arm forward. In 3, 2, and rest it. Awesome. All right, so we're gonna now turn on for our second exercise onto our bellies. We're gonna go into another low plank. And this time we're gonna come onto our toes, squeezing through our bum, and we're gonna just slightly tap those knees down, keeping our entire body nice and still. So we're just moving those knees, really pushing into that belly button and really tightening in through the bum and holding that spine up with that belly button. Here we go for 30 seconds in 3, 2, 1. Look above your hands so you keep those airways open and concentrate on breathing and not holding your breath. The elbows should be underneath our shoulders to keep that upper body nice and supported. And we should try to have our hips in line with our shoulders. So we're not too far up where we're pushing that knees down further. It should just be as close to the floor as possible. Almost there in 3, 2, and rest it right here. Good job. All right, round 2 of that 30-second interval. Coming onto our sides again. Side hip dips. In 3, 2, 1. Push up and down. Good. Just slightly grazing that mat with our thigh. If your thighs are hurting or starting to burn a little bit, yes, that's supposed to happen, so don't worry about it. Our primary muscles are our obliques here, but we're definitely putting weight into that knee. We're definitely using those outer thighs to push ourselves up and down. And 3, 2, rest it here. Good. Let's move back to those knee taps. Squeezing in through the glutes. If you need to at any point during the 30 seconds, just put your knees down, rest for a second, and then start again. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Keep the bum nice and tight. Belly button supporting that spine. Working our full abdominal wall here. Really concentrating and squeezing in through the core to take any pressure off the upper body. 10 seconds. Still, even when we're trying to get pressure off that upper body, we're still working that upper body immensely through the chest, shoulders, triceps, pecs. 3, 2, and rest it right here. Good. One more set at that 30-second interval. Elbow right underneath our shoulder. Here we go for those hip dips. In 3, 2, 1. Squeezing through that bum. Push those hips up and down, whether you're from the wall, from your knee, or from your toes. We're still trying to get the biggest part of that movement, really moving those hips back and forth. Draw in a straight line. 10 seconds. Breathing through, don't hold your breath. In 3, 2, and rest it right here. Final time at this 30-second interval for those knee taps. Here we go. Squeeze that bum nice and tight in 3, 2, 1. Keep those hips at shoulder level. Try not to pike your bum. Even if you're doing this for like maybe 3 taps and then you're resting and then 3 taps, build in through that strength. So the stronger you get, the more taps you're going to be able to get in before you need to rest. Squeeze the bum. 10 seconds. Ooh, this one's a good one. In 3, 2, and rest it right here. Awesome job. Okay, moving on to those 20-second intervals, finishing up these 2 exercises. Setting my timer here. Here we go. In 3, 2, and again, go for it. If you want to try and push yourself through these 20 seconds with a little bit of a harder version, maybe a faster movement, go for it. And I like to kind of show you how I'm timing it with a timer or with the phone, because it's just as easy for you to do that on your own as well. It doesn't take long to set the timer and go for it. 3, 2, and rest it right here. Knee taps. Woo. All right, pick that bum up, get nice and ready, and then let's go. In 3, 2, 1, 20 seconds right here. I'm speeding up my knee taps just to add a little bit more intensity. You do not have to. I'm just giving that option. You really want to stress those muscles right at the end of the workout, end of the circuit. 5 seconds. 3, 2, and rest it. Okay, one more time here. And remember, speeding up the movement, yes, it adds that intensity, but if you're losing your form, you're not getting the benefit of it. So if you lose your form and you start to speed up, just slow it back down again. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Last time, squeeze into those glutes. Keep that belly button nice and tucked. Really concentrate on that whole center core. Hips up and down. 10 seconds right here. Here we go. 3, 2, and rest it. Awesome. One more time with those knee taps, and then we are moving on to our final circuit here. In 3, 2, 1, knee taps right here. And you can notice, even though I'm speeding up my knee taps, my body's not moving. So I'm not moving my hips. It's just a simple tap down. My bum's nice and tight. My hips are in line with my shoulders, and I'm squeezing as hard as I can to keep that whole body still. 3, 2, and rest it right here. Okay, not gonna lie, my upper body is kind of sore from that. All right, let's move on to circuit number 5. You are almost there. Okay, so circuit number 5, no different than any other circuit, we're still on the floor. We're gonna move into a high plank this time. So high plank, when our shoulders and hands are nicely aligned, but our palms are on the floor. Now, we're gonna take our feet out. This is one version. You can squeeze it, or you should squeeze into the glutes, push that belly button right in. Our hips and our shoulders are nice and aligned. So we're not piking up, we're keeping here. But we are gonna pike our bum, pushing that belly button right up, and then we're gonna touch either our toe, our shin, or our knee with the opposite hand and come back into plank where we squeeze into those glutes, but we don't dip the hip lower than our shoulder. And then we're gonna come back to the opposite side and come back. Now here's the variation to this. Come down to your knee, two different ways. You can come down to your knee for that plank and then push up through your toes for the touch, or you can stay on your knees and reach right down to the side of your calf and come back in for that plank. And then reach out to the other side and then come back into that plank. So those are the variations for you. Choose what works for you. We're gonna do this for 30 seconds. Here we go. Plank, pike, toe touches. In 3, 2, 1. Pike that bum up nice and high. Now, depending on how high you can pike that bum is really dependent on where you're going to push that touch. So it could be your toe that you're touching, it could be your shin that you're touching, or it could be your knee. So obviously the further you touch, like your toe, is a little bit more difficult, and then you're modifying by touching a little bit closer to your body, which is the knee. So you're going to try and use that belly button, pike your bum up. In 3, 2, and rest it right here. Good job. Now for this last movement in this final circuit, we're gonna do a Russian twist. You can incorporate a weight. Using a weight adds that little bit more intensity. Here's the movement. If you take the weight out, the movement doesn't change. So it's either having a weight in your hand or not. You can have 2 5-pounds, you can have 1 10-pound, 1 8-pound, up to you. So you're gonna have your feet on the floor. You can have them through your heels, feet flat on the floor. It's really up to your personal preference. Squeeze it through the glutes, lean back just slightly, come over and touch you're gonna turn your whole shoulder girdle to the side, elbow almost comes behind your back, and you're gonna bring the weight or your hands to your hip. And then you're just gonna come right over your body and come right to the opposite side. And just go back and forth and really concentrate on not just moving those arms, but turning your shoulder and looking at each opposite wall. Here we go, in 3, 2, 1. Squeeze into those glutes to protect that lower back. You always want to make sure that that lower back is nice and tight, and by squeezing our glutes, that's how we do it. Belly button push right to the spine. Your back starts to get a little bit sore. Maybe you come up a little bit more and not sit back so much. You figure out what works for you. Almost there. Really pushing that belly button right into the spine. In 3, 2, and rest it right here. Good. Let's move back to that pike, plank touches, plank, pike touches, however I call them. Either way, we've got 30 seconds right here. In 3, 2, 1, push that belly button right into the spine, pike your bum up nice and high, and then touch the opposite leg. Good. Whether that's your toe, your shin, whether you're in through your knees and you're reaching towards your calf, whatever works for you here. So if I move to my knees, I'm pushing my bum back towards my feet, and then I'm bringing them back into a plank. And coming through. In 3, 2, and rest it right here. Good. Grabbing that weight if we choose. We're gonna move back to our second set of 30-second interval for Russian twist. 3, 2, 1. Really turn around. Bring that elbow behind your back and bring your weight or hands to your hip. Your shoulder girdle, your upper body is really dictating how far you move over. Your hips are staying nice and tight. Almost there. Push that belly button right to your spine. In 3, 2, and rest it here. Good. Last time at that 30-second interval. Here we go. Pike, plank touches. In 3, 2, 1. Push that bum up nice and high. Bring that opposite hand back to that opposite leg. Squeezing through those glutes, whether you're returning through a plank through your knees or through your toes. You're bringing those hips to the shoulder level and you're squeezing in through those glutes. So it's almost like that's a stop button right there. In 3, 2, and rest it. Good. All right. Here we go. Last time at 30-second interval for those Russian twists. Squeeze into those glutes, lean back, make sure that back's nice and protected. In 3, 2, 1, turn the shoulder. Good. Don't you love it how when you say there's no cardio, and then your heart rate gets really high and you start to sweat and you're like, but there was no cardio. This is the best thing about toning, is that you can still really work that cardio aspect. It's just a low endurance, which is just fine. In 3, 2, 1, rest it right here. Good. All right. We're now back down to those last 20-second intervals. We're repeating those twice, starting with that pike plank touch. Here we go. Now, if you're reaching for, let's say, your shin before, maybe you try and push towards that toe, vice versa, or keep that form and keep steady the way you've been going. In 3, 2, 1, 20 seconds. Really try and keep those legs straight too. We're not bending and touching, that's cheating. So keep those legs straight and use the belly button to pull up. Someone's pulling that string from your belly button and reach over. In 3, 2, and rest it right here. Okay, 20-second Russian twist. This is where we can speed it up or add that weight for intensity. In 3, 2, 1. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. I've sped it up a little bit for me as I'm turning my shoulders from side to side. My bum's nice and tight. My belly button's tucked right to my spine. Protecting that lower back. Really trying to get those muscles working. In 3, 2, and rest it. 40 seconds left. Let's do this. Final 20 seconds of pike plank touch. In 3, 2, 1, pull up. Grab that string. Somebody's really pulling you up through that string, right through the belly button, pushing it right into your spine. Feeling the whole core engage as you walk, as you touch over. 3, 2, and we're done there. Final 20 seconds for that Russian twist. Here we go. In 3, 2, go for it. Woo-hoo. All done. Our toning workout in 10 seconds. Keep that bum nice and tight. Don't let go. Push into that core. 5 more. In 3, 2, 1, and relax. There you have it, guys. Targeted core, repetitive workout. Virtual high five. Congrats. Let's start our cool down.